Monica Zoltanski, and I'm the mayor of Sandy, Utah. Sandy City is the 7th largest city in the state of Utah. We are a population of almost 100,000 residents, and we cover 24 square miles. Our city runs from the west side of I-15 all the way up to the beautiful Little Cottonwood Canyon. And we are known for our beautiful neighborhoods, green areas, and our large swaths of open space. We have a lot of urban wilderness interface areas in our city and traditional suburban neighborhoods with cul-de-sacs. And now the new Sandy, what we're developing is our newer downtown, which includes our taller buildings, high density housing. And so that's changing our city a little bit as we prepare for and embrace the growth of the Intermountain West that's happening all across the Wasatch Front. Our cities are growing faster than ever, and Sandy is one of those cities that is embracing growth, and so we're creating new housing, new businesses, and new business environments in our city. Well, I was pretty much a blank slate. If it wasn't a Lego truck, I had no firsthand knowledge of how trucks are fit together. I grew up in the Midwest and in the Great Lakes region, Northwest Ohio. So I grew up in an industrial area where there's a lot of auto manufacturing. And so aside from an occasional class visit to the Ford factory or maybe a steel factory, that was the extent of my knowledge of how this beautiful equipment comes together. So what impressed me about the factory visit to Appleton? So when I had the chance to go to the Pierce Manufacturing Company in Appleton, Wisconsin in October, well, for starters, I didn't pack my swimsuit because I knew it was what the weather in Wisconsin was going to be like in mid-October. But we were, as soon as we hit the ground, first stop was to the factory floor. And I was rather surprised. I thought it was going to be like an assembly line, maybe like a Toyota manufacturing plant where people are working with headphones, no one's talking to each other, there's materials down an assembly line, very sterile, and it was nothing like that. It was real men and women who were masters in their craft, taking a lot of pride in how their equipment was assembled, and also taking the time to welcome us as we toured the floor to answer any questions. And so I met machinists, assemblers, electronics specialist, and what really stood out was meeting the artisans who paint the unique symbols and logos and scenery from all the different cities, and to see the beautiful gallery of their work right there showed that really hit home how each piece is customized. So it was more than a factory tour. It was basically getting to know the Pierce family. That's how I felt. When I visited Pierce in October, I was Facebook posting, live streaming, and sharing all of my impressions with my community, right? And people were following along the days that I was there, and we're so excited to receive the truck. We've never done a push-in ceremony in Sandy fire history, and so we decided right then and there that we were going to do one when this new engine came in to Station 34. So we planned it as a community neighborhood event. I wanted the residents right in the neighborhood of Station 34 to get to know the firefighters and get to recognize the apparatus. When they see that engine driving down the street with ME34 on it, they know that's their engine, right? So we did a beautiful breakfast with a dedication of the new engine and then the push-in ceremony. And at the time, when it came time to push the engine into the bay, the firefighters, of course, it had washed and it was beautiful and shiny. It was a bright, sunny winter morning. So they pushed it in, and just as they were going to push it in, all these kids just surrounded the engine, and it was just basically a takeover by toddlers to 5-year-olds. And the pictures were great because they show the kids, really the future of our city, taking such pride in receiving this beautiful engine. So that's something that I'm always going to remember. And the neighbors, once they come up to the fire station, they want to see their new engine. And it's because that push-in ceremony, really brought it home. It was a great homecoming for the engine, and it was a great experience for the whole neighborhood, especially the kids. The importance of having the dealership right here in Utah is we can have the support for service, for updates, new information when parts become available, and all the information to have a local rep really helps keep us informed and up to date. and also helps with our planning as we design and acquire equipment to serve our future needs in the city. Going to Appleton and having Clayton be our personal tour guide helped immensely. We did not stop. I mean, you definitely want to wear your tennis shoes if you're going to be keeping pace with Clayton, because he kept us moving. I think our first day there, we were moving for 18 hours with the final inspection, touring the floor, touring the sheet metal factory where the big machine presses come together. He wanted me to make sure that I had the full experience. And then when we got home, had follow-up questions, was able to reach out to him, and just having that personal contact, someone with the experience and has the breadth of knowledge of the whole range of options on an engine or on a truck, it's especially helpful for our city planning. Absolutely, I would recommend Pierce to other cities. Pierce is the gold standard of quality when it comes to fire apparatus. And each engine, each truck is built from the ground up by hand, by Americans, for Americans. It's pretty unusual to be able to visit the place and meet the people who put this beautiful equipment together. And if you're like me, never having done that before, you'll come away with the feeling that you are bringing home a piece of true quality that is going to serve your community, protect property, and most importantly, save lives. Because each one of those workers at the Pierce factory knows how important this equipment is, and it's sending from their families in Appleton to our families here in Sandy, Utah. In fact, even the steering wheel has a stamp in this engine that says custom built for Sandy City, Utah. And that's a sense of pride, a sense of ownership, and bringing that home to Sandy, telling the story to our residents. This is why a piece of equipment, quality equipment, costs more than something off the rack, and people appreciate it. I know our firefighters sure do, and they take care of it. And our residents have a strong sense of pride to have a Pierce apparatus in their firehouse.